What is up, YouTube? Today I'm coming back at you with another DVD/Blu-ray Pickups video, and I just want to get a few things out of the way before we get started here. I know I haven't made one of these in a while. The main reason for that is I started a new job and I'm working night shift, so I'm going to be filming these videos probably at night from now on, and that's why you're seeing a little bit of different lighting than you're used to. I normally use natural light, and I'm having to use some lamps and to light this this scene, and I'm doing some color adjustment to the white balance, so hopefully the colors look okay. It's kind of my first time experimenting with color adjustment in camera, so I'm hoping that saves me an extra step in editing. So yeah, so let's just get right into it. We have a bunch of different stuff. Like I said, I haven't done one of these in a while, so I have a bunch of backlog of things that I've been buying in terms of DVDs and Blu-rays. Most of it is actually Blu-rays, but I do have quite a lot of DVD stuff too, and I have some animation and I have some live action stuff. So instead of doing the normal setup where I do DVDs and then Blu-rays, we'll do live action DVDs with live action Blu-rays, and then animation DVDs and then animation Blu-rays, just because I know not everyone's into animation. So yeah, I've got 6 things that are live action, 3 DVDs, 3 Blu-rays. I've got even more animation, and that's split between DVD and Blu-ray as well. So let's just get right into it, and I'll talk a little bit about each thing that I picked up and why I picked it up and whatnot. So the first thing that I picked up here is, oh, and also before I get into it, if I'm talking a little less loud and projecting a little bit less, that's because, like I said, I work night shift and I'm filming these videos at night. I'm trying to not wake up my downstairs neighbors, so that is why. But let's get right into it. So the first thing I picked up is one that does not have a Blu-ray release. I would love for it to have a Blu-ray release eventually, but as far as I know right now, there is no Blu-ray release in North America. This is a movie I grew up with, so I really wanted to get this movie eventually, and it's a really kind of cheesy movie, but it's a product of its era, really, and that is George of the Jungle. This is Brendan Fraser, and it's just a really fun movie, especially if you have kids. This is a great movie for kids, and it's just I still appreciate it today. I have a lot of nostalgia for this movie, and it's one I've wanted to own for a while. I picked it up for $5 on Amazon, brand new. And as far as I know, there is no Blu-ray. At least there was no Blu-ray when I was checking for it. So I'm happy to have this in the collection, and it'll be fun to check this one out. I haven't seen this since I watched it on VHS years ago. So it'll be fun to check this one out again. Alright, the next one that I picked up is a blind buy, but it's one that when I saw the title of it and I read the description of this movie, I was like, yep, I have to buy this movie. I don't care how bad it is, I just have to buy this movie. This is an indie movie, it's on DVD obviously, and that is The Velocipaster. So I was just kind of browsing around on Amazon, just kind of looking through stuff, and I was looking at like B horror movies, and then this kind of caught my eye. Obviously it's called Velocipaster, and it's about this pastor that I think he travels to China. Yeah, he travels to China, and somehow he gains the ability to turn into a velociraptor, and he uses his powers to fight ninjas. And it sounds super ridiculous, and it sounds funny and just kind of like a really bad self-aware B movie, and I kind of like those from time to time. So I was like, dinosaurs, ninjas, weird supernatural thing going on. How could you not want this? So I decided to pick it up on a whim. I believe it was like $10 or something, but I think it might be worth it. So who knows? Definitely an interesting movie. Yeah, it's by the production company Wild Eye, who I've never heard of, and it is actually on the backs. It says Region 0, so I mean anyone can watch that. If you just go to Amazon, the American website, you can order it for yourself anywhere in the world. Alright, the last thing I have for live action DVDs is one that I've actually been looking to get, and surprisingly this doesn't have a Blu-ray release. I'm really surprised. The reason why is I was looking through, I was looking at Academy nominated and Academy winning movies, and I wanted to get some more Academy winning movies and stuff, and nominated movies. And I came across this one because this was nominated the same year as Gladiator. It has no Blu-ray release, which is surprising for an Academy-nominated movie. And it's got a huge cast. It's got Jeffrey Rush, Kate Winslet, Joaquin Phoenix, and Michael Caine, which is crazy. And it doesn't have a Blu-ray release, and it was a really big movie, so I was like, I guess I'll buy the DVD. I don't even think the DVD's in print anymore because I had to buy the DVD used. So I don't know what's going on with this movie, but it's called Quills. Sorry, I've been rambling before I show you the movie. I'll try to stop doing that. So Quills, like I said, is... I watched a little bit of this. I didn't finish it yet. I had to stop it because my girlfriend and I were watching it, and like I said, with my new shift, she can only watch a little bit of stuff, so we had to stop it like halfway through. But it's about like this correctional asylum that was back in the 1700s, I believe, and it's about a writer that's stuck in there who has like he is I would say, sexual deviant is the best you could really describe him, and it's just about this very dramatic story involving this writer that writes these erotic novels, and one of the employees at the asylum smuggles them out, and just like the whole basically dynamic between all of them. And it's a very interesting movie so far. Like I said, I haven't finished the whole thing, but it seems very high production value, and all the actors are really great, obviously, as you would expect from a cast like this. So definitely interested in checking the rest of this one out. Like I said, this was a blind buy. But yeah, I'm surprised that one doesn't have a Blu-ray release, and the DVD might not even be in print anymore, at least in North America, so I don't know. Let's move on to the live-action Blu-rays. Alright, so like I said, I'm going to try to stop talking about it before I show you the movie, just so you guys can know what I'm talking about here. And that is, the first thing I got on Blu-ray was the Timothy Dalton collection. So, the Timothy Dalton collection, I'm a really big fan of James Bond. I don't have all of them yet. I have all of the Daniel Craig ones, except for the new one that hasn't come out yet. I have all the Pierce Brosnan, I have all the Sean Connery, and I think that's all the ones I have. And now I have all the Timothy Dalton ones. I've always been interested in the Timothy Dalton James Bond movies because it's the predecessor to my favorite James Bond, Pierce Brosnan, and I've heard that these two movies were actually written for Pierce Brosnan to play, but he had like a prior commitment that he had to do before he could start being James Bond. So I was curious to see if these would have sort of the same feel as those, and I was just also curious because Timothy Dalton only did 2 James Bond movies, and that's kind of rare. There's not many short-running James Bonds, so I wanted to pick this one up, and I've watched The Living Daylights, and that one was actually really good. It reminded me a lot of one of the Pierce Brosnan James Bonds. The World Is Not Enough. I think that's the one. Yeah, The World Is Not Enough. I think that's the one with the news corporation that's trying to control everything. But it kind of reminded me of that, and it definitely is more along the more serious side of Pierce Brosnan. Not as quippy as some of the other James Bonds that I've seen. So definitely a good collection so far. I still need to watch License to Kill. I've heard that's the best of the two, so that'll be interesting to check out. Alright, this next one is another blind buy, and I wanted to get this movie for a while, and I believe this is a pretty recent transfer now. I wanted to get this one just because I've been trying to get more 90s and 80s movies into my collection, and just try to get some more older movies because I got a lot of more modern blockbusters type stuff and some indie stuff as well. And I just wanted to get more 80s and 90s movies because I really like that era of movies, especially the 90s. I love 90s movies. And this is one that was really good, Black Rain. Like I said, it was a blind buy. I've heard this is a really good movie. I like Michael Douglas. He's a really great actor. and yeah, I don't really know a lot about it. Apparently it's directed by Ridley Scott, so I mean it must be pretty good, I would imagine. Ridley Scott's a pretty good director, so I'm really interested to check this one out. I'm pretty sure it's like a crime drama, is the vibes that I'm getting from this, so it seems to be really cool. I like crime dramas, and Michael Douglas is a great actor, so happy to have that one. I haven't watched that one yet, unfortunately. Alright, this last live action one that I have is actually something that I have seen. I've seen both of these. It's a double pack. This is something I've been really looking to get for a while now. I just haven't really got around to it. It's not like an amazing movie series or anything, and it's not something I grew up with. I didn't watch it until I was in high school because my dad bought them on DVD, and I wanted to pick these up because I enjoy them. They're not my favorite fantasy movies, but I picked up Conan the Barbarian. Both of the two movies, Conan the Barbarian, Conan the Destroyer. Both Blu-ray releases. They have their own individual discs and special features. I'm not sure if they have all the same special features as that cool DVD collection that my dad had, but it looks like it might, because I know that had its own special bonus DVD. But I'm a fan of these movies. They're not amazing. They're definitely low-budget fantasy movies, but they're very unique in its style, and I like that, so definitely wanted to pick these ones up. I'm happy to have them in that collection. Alright, now we're going to move on to animation. Now, I have a lot of animation stuff, so before I grab the DVDs here. Oh man, the stack's falling over. Alright, so before I get into them, I just wanted to explain really quick why I have so many. So most of it, I'm pretty sure all this is anime, and the reason why I have so much anime is because a new remake of an anime, one of my favorite anime, had come out, and it's called Higurashi no Nakakoro ni, and there's a new version of it that they're remaking, and I just had the fear that the old version that I really like is gonna go out of print. And for those of you who don't follow anime or not into anime at all, if you think DVDs and stuff going out of print's bad for live action movies, it is 1,000 times worse for anime, because things go out of print within 5 years, and they're low print runs a lot of the time, and once they go out of print, the prices skyrocket almost immediately, and it's really hard to get anime that's out of print. Finding it's really hard, especially with the way that anime is distributed. There's multiple different ways. Oftentimes, only recently have they started doing full, complete series bundles. It used to be that you used to have like 6 or 7 volumes per show in the individual cases, so it was really hard to complete out of print anime, but they've recently gotten better, but the problem still remains where stuff goes out of print all the time, and it doesn't come back in print for years. For instance, before I get into these, I'll give you one example. Neon Genesis Evangelion is a show I really like, and it's been out of print for like the past, let's see, I would say 11 years almost now, because I think it went out of print when I was a senior in high school, or maybe even before that, because ADV had the rights to that? I don't know. It was like 11 or 12 years ago, and it went out of print, and it's never been in print since. And it's only just now, next year, getting a Blu-ray release. So thank God that's happening, so I can finally get that show. But that is the reason why I got so much. So let's get right into everything that I've got. So the first thing I got is something that's out of print. It's one that I really have been putting off for a while, and that is 11 Eyes. This was a smaller show that came out when I was in high school that I watched as it was coming out. It came out in 2009, and it's a show that I really liked it. It had some cool ideas. It wasn't the best execution, and by no means is it like an amazing anime, but it was one that I have a lot of nostalgia for, because I used to watch this on the bus ride to school, and I really liked, because I would download it and put it on like my iPod, and I would watch it, and it was a show that I kind of really like because it has really good action scenes and the soundtrack's really good, but the story's kind of interesting, not really well executed, and it's kind of predictable, but it's a decent show, and I've always wanted to have it on DVD, and I just been putting it off. And it went out of print recently, very recently, and luckily I found one copy on eBay for a reasonable price, and they've already started to go up in price. Like, they were selling them for like $12 to $15, and I didn't buy it back then. I ended up paying like $25 for this. So, yeah, glad to have that one in the collection. Now that it's out of print. Another one is the next one I have here is a double set. And like I said, sometimes they do complete bundles, but a lot of times it's two halves now, and that is Majestic Prince. This is another show that I watched back in high school. Well, apparently not, because this came out in 2013. I thought this was earlier. So this is actually kind of a newer show. I thought this came out much earlier. But anyway, Majestic Prince. It's a mecha anime, a mecha sci-fi anime, and it's really, really good. It's got really great animation and really great battles and choreography. Story's kind of alright. It's not the best story, but the animation and the mech battles make up for that. And I definitely think this is an example of a mech anime using 3D animation well. Sometimes it kind of doesn't look good at all, but I think it's really good. And it's made by it's got that same art style that Gundam Seed has. So if you're a fan of that, you might like that. It's another one that I really like. Here's another one. This one is one that I've been meaning to complete. I already have the first season of this. That is School Rumble. So this is a school romance comedy anime. It's 24 episodes per season. And I already had season 1. And I had been putting off getting the second season, but I just didn't really want to pull the trigger on it. And like I said, I've been going through my list of anime that I've watched and marking down which ones I really wanted to buy and, you know, keep and preserve. And this was one of the ones on the list, and really happy to have it. It's a really great comedy show. I think it's from 2007. Is it a 2007 one? I am not seeing a date on this anime. But I'm pretty sure this anime has gone out of print, but they still have stock that's new of it, because this is the save edition of the second season, and Funimation no longer makes the save line of anime, so once this stock's gone, it's going to be gone. So I decided to pick this one up, because I didn't want to miss that. Alright, and try to blow through these because I only have a couple minutes left on my recording. Alright, so let's move on to the animation Blu-rays, and these are the ones that I really needed to get. And the first one is the one that really started this whole shopping spree, and that is When They Cry, or Higurashi, as many people know it. And this is the original Studio Dean version. I had talked about this a little bit ago already and why I wanted to buy this. And I'm really happy to own the complete series on Blu-ray. I'd been putting it off because it was expensive. This was like $70. Also, anime is not cheap. I don't know if you guys noticed that. Anime is not cheap. And yeah, and this was on sale. It's normally like $100, so $70, not bad at all. And I've been meaning to pick that one up. I had just been putting it off for such a long time. Same with this one. I've been meaning to pick this one up as well. And that is Future Diary, or Mirai Nikki, as it's also known. And this is one of the classics line. Funimation tends to keep the classics line of anime in print a lot longer than normal anime that they have, which is now called Essentials, which used to be called the Save Edition. Those ones kind of fluctuate in and out of print. The classics, though, they tend to stay in print. And Future Diary is one that I've been meaning to pick up. I think I paid like $50 for this or something. And it's a really, really great twisty anime. If you like twisty anime, it's really great. It's not the tightest story ever, but it's really well written, and the characters are very interesting, and I definitely recommend checking this one out. And also recommend checking out Higurashi if you're a fan of horror anime. This next one is one that I think is absolutely fantastic. It came very close to getting 5-star rating for me, which I am very, very harsh on rating for anime. Most of the anime I watch, I rate 3 stars. This one got 4.5 stars for me. And it's such a good show, and I already had bought, there was an older release of this that was a 2-parter. I bought the first half of it, and I just never got around to picking up the second half. But They now have a complete set, so I bought the complete set of Gosik. I'm probably going to end up selling that first half set that I have, because I have part 1 of the older release. And Gosik was a really great show. It was supposed to be printed by Bandai back in the day, and then Bandai went out of business, and so it had been floating around, and then finally Funimation picked up and made that last release, and it was it was like $100 almost for that whole thing. I ended up picking this one up for like $40, so that was a good bargain there. But it's such a good detective mystery anime. If you're a fan of detective mystery anime or just detective mystery shows, this is definitely one to pick up. Definitely not a kiddie anime. There's no fan service, none of that like tropey, pandering sort of thing that a lot of anime tend to do. This is definitely one that a more mature audience can enjoy, and it's a really great anime. Definitely recommend checking that one out. Alright. This next one is considered an essentials line, but I would consider this anime a classic. But this is an older anime as well. I think this one came out in 2008 apparently. But this is like one of the first slice of life anime that I watched. It's called Lucky Star. And this is slice of life anime are literally just like the everyday lives of normal people in anime, and it's just a comedy, like a light comedy slice of life show about these group of girls that are friends, and they just do everyday things, and it's funny, it's entertaining. There's no overarching story. You can just watch one episode, wait a while, watch another episode. It's just a really classic slice of life, and I'm surprised this one's considered part of their essentials line and not a classic, but definitely wanted to add that to the collection. This last one is probably the most recent anime that I have bought. This one came out in 2015, I think this one came out in 2015. This one's co-published by Crunchyroll, and I watched it. It was just absolutely fantastic, and that is Recovery of an MMO Junkie. And this is basically just like, it's a love story with a little bit of comedy about these two nerds that fall in love over an MMO and just their adventures in this MMO. Not quite like Sword Art Online where it's like a virtual reality thing, but it kind of like throws you into the fantasy world of their characters, and then they're really just playing the MMO with their computer. It's just a really fun anime. It's only 11 episodes, so it's not super long, but it's really well done, and I really wanted to add this one to my collection. So, yeah. Sorry I kind of blew through all those anime, but I needed to get through all of that as fast as possible. I hope you guys enjoyed this quick pickups video. Let me know if you've seen any of these, or what you guys think of some of the movies and anime that I've picked up. I have a lot here. And yeah, so let's just do a quick overview. So grab it. So this is all the anime that I picked up, and this is all the live action stuff I picked up. So that's really all I have for you guys. Let me know what you guys think of this video, or just what you think of the stuff I picked up. And yeah, I'm always trying to respond to as many comments as possible. Thank you guys for all my new subscribers, and thank you guys everyone for watching. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.